Hello, my name is M.W.Burnette. I am a home studio producer, songwriter, and recording artist, and this is my video diary. So, I've been working on this series talking about coming clean about the particulars of the musical enterprise that I've been pursuing, and talking about kind of the difficulties and perspectives or whatever that go along with that. And I've talked about how by any conventional metric I am a complete failure at this. But the point that I want to make here is that the conventional metrics aren't really relevant anymore. This is a new musical economy. It's a different world than the way that things used to be. Once upon a time, the only way that you could really make a record was to spend a whole bunch of money and go to a recording studio and hire professional producers and sound engineers and professional mixers and so on and so forth to go in and create your record, to record your music. And that was incredibly expensive. So you either had to have a whole lot of money yourself to go and do that, or you had to be sponsored by a record company. And so once upon a time, if there was a certain level of whatever success, prestige, recognition that you had to achieve before you could ever even put down your music in recorded form. And so I guess that there was there's kind of a preconception that people have still that unless you've got that kind of backing behind you, that you're not going to be producing quality work. You may write good songs, but they're just not going to sound great because you don't have that kind of you don't have that feather in your cap. You don't have that credential. There's not a record company behind you. Well, okay. So anyway, beating that horse to death, it's a different world now. You don't need all of those things to make great sounding music anymore. And the record companies are really scrambling. They don't know what to do about that. Once upon a time, they had a chokehold on kind of the artistic output of the musical community, and that's just not the case anymore. Technology has completely democratized the music making process. Right now, the setup that I have to make music, I've kind of worked it out, like between all of the components that I've got, not counting my instruments, but just the computer and microphones and cables and audio interface, that sort of thing. I've got less than $1,000 in it. And I've got the capability, just in digital tools that are built into my computer, that exceed the capabilities of the most advanced recording studios in the world 20 years ago. And that's just an amazing amount of power that you have at your fingertips there. So anyway, all of that is to say that the models that we're used to when we talk about music, where for you to be considered successful, you have to get the attention of a record executive, A&R guy. You have to go in and have them front a bunch of money so that you can go in and record an album. You have to release that album to a lot of advertising and fanfare. That album has to chart. You have to sell hundreds of thousands of copies of it before you even break even on the expense of it. And that means that you've got to have your videos on television. Well, that's not so much the case anymore, but back then it meant having a music video on TV, and your music had to be on the radio. You had to present it to lots and lots and lots of people to be able to basically cover the expense that you've incurred. And like I was saying, that's just not the case anymore, because you don't have to spend a lot of money to get something recorded. If you've got the skill to do it, you can do it for nothing, just about. I mean, like I said, there's a little bit of money in, buying hardware to do it, but it's not like anything like it was. And so what that means now is that old model of success is only one of many, many, many different ways to be successful at this. And so what I'm realizing is that model doesn't really appeal to me, but I'm totally at liberty to invent one that does. As I was saying in the last video, I don't really hope to make a living doing this. This is really all about making the music that I want to make for a group of people who will enjoy it. There's not really a financial component to that. And the thing is whereas that one singular model of success may have been unattainable for me and unattainable for many, many people, now, because I don't have to do all of those things, I can do just what I want to do. I can push this thing as far as I want to or not. And it's totally up to me to make that decision. And so what I've been saying all along is I've been kind of describing in this process how I've been putting together different sets of skills and resources and whatever, so that I could then go and accomplish what it is that I set out to do. And so this whole process I've been describing is me kind of looking at where I am, what it is that I hope to do, what about this makes me happy, what do I want to do, and what do I not want to do, and to work through that and create my definition of success. And I don't know that I'm quite there yet, but I'm pretty close. So that's part of it, is understanding that this business now is totally open-ended. I don't have to rely on anybody else to be able to make the music I want to make at the quality I want to achieve with it. So, that's done. That's no longer a consideration. I can just do that. And then what I do with it after that is up to me. So it's up to me to just decide what that's going to be, how this is going to make me happy, how I'm going to be fulfilled by this, and how I'm going to share that with other people, and then to figure out what the tools are that help me get from where I am right now to that point. And so that's also kind of what I've been describing, is I've been learning to improve my skills mixing and mastering, recording, to get the music sound quality up to snuff. And then also working on the other side of that, the marketing and the advertising promotion end, so that once that music is created, I can then put it in front of people who are going to like it, and I can start building those relationships with those people. And that's what this is all about. That's what I want to do with it. So anyhow, I think that's about it. I guess one thing I wanted to just I want to kind of break this idea that fame and wealth and prestige, that sort of thing, that whole rock star persona that people look to and see as kind of the measure of success. I was just trying to break that attitude, that concept. I'll have people who'll listen to things that I do from time to time, and they'll be like, "Wow, this is really amazing. I'm going to be able to say I knew you when," and I'm like, "Well, no, you know me now. This is it. This is what we're doing right here. This is the music. It doesn't have to come from a record company. You don't have to hear it on the radio for it to be good. It's good now." You just have to listen to it. That's all it is. But so anyway, thank you for sticking around, paying attention to all of this. God bless you, and until we meet again, stay groovy.